to make a donation.
Good afternoon, my name is Sarah. I'm the CEO of Comfort Cases UK. I'm sure that every single one of you, when you leave the house, pick up things that are important to you and put them in a bag, somewhere safe, where you know where they are, where you've got control over them, things that mean something to you or that matter to you, things that you need. I'm sure lots of you have got rucksacks, handbags, with all the things that you care about, that you need for your day-to-day life today. Why is that any different for a child? Why is that any different for a child on one of the most traumatic days in their life, when they are removed from their families, not knowing what's going on a lot of the time, not knowing when they're going to see their families again, or who they're going to stay with, or what that environment's going to be like. I can only imagine the fear for those poor young children who have lost all sense of control, belonging, understanding, and feeling very scared and very unloved. And yet still we use these. This is not an attack directed at anyone in this room today, so please don't take it in that way. And I'm talking to you wonderful foster carers. But it's unbelievable that in a modern UK in 2023, that a bin bag is still an acceptable bag for a child to keep their most precious belongings safe. We hear stories from young people that are still within the care system or have left, photographs that have been torn, maybe the only photograph that they have of a parent or their family. Their favourite jumper magically disappeared. One young lady told me that she'd moved 25 times in 5 years. That in itself is enough to make us sick to our stomachs, but 25 times with a bin bag, and every time she moved, she lost something. She said the most humiliating time was when her bras were rolling around the back of a duty social worker's car. She didn't know them, she had no relationship with them, and she was too embarrassed to take them out of the boot and put them back in the bag. So she didn't, she just walked away. The aim of Comfort Cases is to get rid of these. I don't want to see them anymore. This is a fight that we have all been battling for such a long time. Over 30, 40, 50 years. I'm sure if you talk to young people, not so young people here today that were in the care system, the black bag is synonymous with stigma, being identified as that kid that's in care. It propagates the idea that these kids are bad children from bad families and that they did something wrong. We have to remember that these children and young people are victims of their circumstances. They need to be loved. They want to feel seen. They want to know that they're cared about, whether that's by the foster families that they're going to stay with, the staff in the residential care home, or maybe just by their local community or the people in the society and the world that they live in who believe in them as futures of our society, their futures as young people. So we came up with a solution, and it's quite simply a comfort case. A comfort case is a rucksack, just a rucksack, but that rucksack belongs to that child or young person. And it's not just a rucksack that can be their own special bag for the future of their journey. It's filled with a warm fleecy blanket to wrap themselves up in, because as many of you know in this room, removals do not happen 9 to 5. They happen in the middle of the night, they happen in the most difficult circumstances. A brand new pair of pyjamas, brand new, tags on, tied up by hand by volunteers with a ribbon of love. Aged, gendered, just so that they can put something clean and that belongs to them on. A reading book. Lots of care leavers tell us that education was their way out. Literacy, escapism, being able to relish in a story that allows them just to not think about it right that moment. And a teddy bear. Don't tell me that you don't need something to hug when you're having a hard day, because I know I do. And her own toothbrush, toiletry set, sanitary towels for girls. Something that you know that when you're going into a home, it smells different, it feels different, the routine's different, the food's different. Everything can be in your control. So that's it, very simply. We don't need to do this to children anymore. We work with local authorities, we work with safeguarding teams, we work with fostering teams, unaccompanied migrant children teams, care leavers teams, residential care homes. They all self-refer to us. And we, in our little hub in Hertfordshire, pack up the cases with our volunteers, with school children, with retirees, with corporates, and we ship them all over the country to wherever children and young people need them. We go all the way from Bradford, Scotland, Wales, right down to the south coast. And I'm delighted to say that we've recently signed a pilot with the Metropolitan Police Service, because they are the people often on the very front line, removing those children. And they do care. They have a job to do, but they do care, and it does affect them. So if you will allow me to finish with a very quick story. One of the police officers phoned me to give me some feedback. And she said, I've never been so grateful to have a case with me. I went to a flat. The condition of the flat was worse than squalor. I can't even begin to describe the conditions to you. In that flat we found a 2-year-old little boy. No nappy, filthy, filthy dirty, just a vest, no heating or light, no food in the fridge, and no parents to be seen. And they'd been alerted because of the howling. But she had a comfort case with her. She washed him, cleaned him up, had a brand new pair of pyjamas to put on. She wrapped him up in a blanket, and he was understandably very upset and didn't know what was going on. So she read a story to him to try and calm him down. Now the difficulty with this situation is that this child, whatever he had been through, was non-verbal. Not mute, but non-verbal because of the trauma that he had experienced. And they really needed to understand what had been going on to be able to remove him. And then he started to talk to the teddy bear. And the teddy bear heard all his secrets. And because of that, the police were able to remove him, put him in safety, and that little boy will now be loved, valued, seen, and was able to move with the dignity that every single child and young person deserves. We desperately need funding. We're a charity. We rely on the kindness of people, and local authorities get this at a very minimal cost. Please look us up. Come and spend a day with us. It's so rewarding to know that every bag that you pack will be going directly to a young person so that they can be loved, seen, and moved with dignity. Thank you.
It's good, isn't she?